So, you know, I was just watching your judo match against from 2019 against Turkishvili in Turkey at
Yeah.
the Antalya Grand Prix. I want to know, what do you recall from this match? What when you think about this match, what comes to mind?
I remember it was a lot bigger than me. I was a small 90 when I was doing judo. I was competing in 81 and 90, but this tournament I was 90 kilo, and I was maybe 86 or 87. And I remember it was really, really strong, stronger, a lot stronger than me physically. And it was a tough match. He beat me with Sode, I think. I think he beat me with a Sode. But that was a good experience for me this trip because we had a nice training camp after, and I can after fight with those guys with those like a big 90 kilo. That was a good experience. It was a nice experience too to compete against a world champion because he was a world champion in 81 kilo,
2014.
I think. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, that
World
was it.
champion and European champion, I think three times. What?
Yeah, yeah.
Where was the training camp after the tournament?
That was at Antalya, I think, and it was like mostly rendery. So, but
Wow.
a lot of guy was there, a lot of strong competitor was there. So that was a very good experience for me. I did maybe I don't know 60 rendery there during like 4 or 5 days. So it was like really
Wow.
really nice. Yeah,
How sore were you by the end of that?
I was dead. My arm, my
Wow.
back, my leg, everything was uh, was dead after the this training game.
Incredible, incredible. I should probably introduce you. Sorry, I'm so
Yeah,
discombobulated. I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning. It's
yeah,
9 p.m. now, so I'm completely out
yeah.
of it. We're
No,
joined
it's
by
okay.
Maxime. We're joined by Maxim Côté. He's an all-around grappler, competed nationally and internationally in judo for Canada, also competed in NoGi grappling just
Yeah,
recently at the ADCC Open Canada 2023, winning gold in the men's advanced under 83 kilo. He also recently competed at the UWW Grappling World Championships. He's 3-0 as an amateur in MMA, 5-2 in boxing, 1-0 in kickboxing, and he's going to be making his professional mixed martial arts
yeah.
debut very, very soon. Maxime, welcome, bienvenue.
Merci, thank you.
Right on. I'm really
Yeah,
looking forward to this chat here. To be honest with you, I have a lot of questions. In fact, just judo alone could probably take 90 minutes, but I don't
yeah,
want to just focus on that, of course, because now you've competed in judo, but you've also transitioned into other
yeah,
sports. And as I mentioned, from nogi grappling as well as amateur MMA to transitioning to pro as well as
yeah.
boxing. I'm curious to know, and this is a very generic question. I'm sure you've heard this one before. How were you introduced to the sport of judo? What drew you to the sport initially?
I joined judo because of my father. My father was on the national judo team before
Okay.
when he was younger, and so I started judo with him at Sept-Îles. I don't remember my first training. I just always do judo. I do. I think I started at 4 or 5 years old. So
Wow.
so I did judo all my life.
What division did your dad compete in? How much did he weigh?
When I was junior, I was 81,
I'm sorry.
but
I'm sorry. I mean,
before,
your dad, no, not you, not you.
oh
Well,
my
we'll
dad,
get
he
into
was
you
competing.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was competing at 78
Okay.
because before that was not 81, that was 78 and 86 after.
Okay.
Before I don't remember which year, but yeah,
Right. And can you give us a little bit of background in terms of Sept-Îles? I believe, because I looked it up, I think the population there is just a little over 20,000 people. I
yeah,
think
it's
there's
a
only one dojo in the whole town. Can you talk
yeah.
to us about that part of Quebec?
Yeah, it's a small town, but we have a really really strong dojo over there. Like I think it's before our coach was very good with judo, and they just everybody at Sept-Îles was doing maybe hockey, judo, swimming, but it was a really really strong judo club for like a small city. Eh? And now we have a new dojo. It's like a really, really big dojo. It's like Japanese style, so everything is beautiful. Everything is good. And I don't know. I think it's the coach over there are good, and they push the young people to train hard and compete. And they are really generous with their time too. Like they drive us to Montreal to compete, to the national, to everywhere. So I was Sept-Îles like 10 or 11 hours drive, and I was doing all the tournament when I was a kid, national, provincial, regional. So I was going to Montreal and everywhere like 4, 5, 6 times, 7 maybe times a year. So
Wow.
yeah,
When you say 10 or 11 hours, you mean from Sept-Îles all the way to Montreal?
yeah, exactly.
Because Sept-Îles essentially is very far north in
Yeah,
Montreal, right?
exactly,
It's the
exactly.
northeast,
Yeah,
way past Quebec City, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think the city's produced some hockey players. I believe I just quickly looked and I
yeah,
noticed that. I'm curious
yeah,
to know, in terms of judo mentors and coaches, your dad was a judoka. Obviously, that's a
yeah,
big influence. Who else shaped your competitive style? I'm sure there are more that you probably had multiple coaches throughout
yeah.
your career, but if you could name a few individuals that really influenced your competitive judo style.
Yeah, of course. When I was at Sept-Îles, I have my dad and my coach David. He was coaching me over there. And when I came to Montreal, Janusz Polianowski helped me a lot. He helped me a lot with my judo. I was doing like private with him. But private, it's like I was doing technique with him after class or before. He helped me a lot. And the other guys at the just training or at the National Training Center is good because everybody is good. And every training you have the opportunity to fight with different people, and that's helped me a lot with my judo. Like I become like really stronger and more technical when I moved to Montreal. Yeah, yeah, of
Can
course.
you, can you tell us, this is really fascinating. Can you give us a story about a time where, say, a coach corrected your technique? Is there a moment when you think back about your time at the National Center that really sticks out? If it's a randori session or just, a funny moment. What sticks out or comes to mind when you think about your time at the National Training Center?
Yeah, because when I came here, he was showing technique, and he's a really technical guy. Everything is perfect, and I was looking at him. I was saying, oh, a lot of thing I was doing was wrong. I think that was good. I think that was good technique, but he show me his way of doing the technique, and I was like, okay, this is better, and I start work on that every day on the crash mat during Randery, and that helped me a lot. He was really technical, but he's still really technical, so that's helped me a lot. Yeah, exactly. That's helped me a lot with.
This is really fascinating. How open are you to feedback from coaches as an athlete? Are you very receptive? Or
Yeah, yeah,
you are, eh?
yeah. I'm really receptive because uh, everybody can add something to your game. Everybody knows something you don't know, so it's very important, I think, to listen to those people who was there before you and who had a lot of experience, and they can see things you sometimes when you fight you don't see, and you don't know. So it's good to have someone to help you and teach you the new stuff. Yeah.
It's interesting because just earlier on you said that when you went there, I'm paraphrasing you here, but you realized that your technique was wrong, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? So
Yeah.
that's incredible for you to say that. In the sense that you're very open about the learning curve of being there at the National Training Center and being open to the learning
Yeah.
and changing your entire game. I'm curious to know what I think I read somewhere that your go-to throw was Harai Goshi. Was it always that throw? And how did your time at the National Training Center? What else did you focus on in particular in terms of aspects of judo that were very new to you when you went there? What was it? The grip fighting? Was it what or the mental training? What was it that really took it to the next level when you were doing your one-on-ones with
Yeah, that what helped me a lot over there is the grip fighting was really important. But my favorite technique was like mostly Ashiwaza, Osotogari, Kostogake, foot sweep, like thing like that. And I was doing a lot of Newaza, a lot of Newaza. I was I
Okay.
was I was winning like maybe half of my fight in the on the ground. So I was doing a lot of Newaza and Ashiwaza, like Kosoto, Osotogari, a little bit of Uchimato, Aragoshi, things like that. Yeah, yeah, that
Was
was
your
my.
Niwaza strong? Was your Niwaza strong as a cadet junior, or was it something that you really honed in as a senior?
I had already a strong Newaza because I was doing a lot of Newaza with my father at the Sept-Îles, and he helped me a lot to develop my ground game. But I continue to work on that at the national training center, of course. Yeah, too. Yeah,
So, I'm really looking forward to, I thank you for joining me on this interview, because
yeah. Thank you.
what's really interesting about you is that you're someone who's competed obviously nationally and internationally in judo,
Yeah,
but you've transitioned from that sport into other sports. And I think
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, you're the first person I've ever interviewed that has that background and is transitioning into mixed martial arts. Obviously, just like any rational combat sports fan, I'm a huge judo fan.
yeah.
I follow the sport, but in addition
Nice.
to that, I follow other combat sports such as mixed martial arts. And obviously, you transitioned into NoGi and Jiu-jitsu, and making
Yeah.
that change is a big move. My first question is, what inspired you to explore NoGi, grappling, and Jiu-jitsu after having such a solid foundation in judo?
Yeah, I was uh, I was already looking at the jiu-jitsu tournament when I was like a kid. I was all because I was loving Newaza and I was watching on YouTube some technique that I can do in judo. So I was already doing like senkaku, armbar, everything like that. I was already doing that in judo, and I was watching a lot of because I'm a huge combat sport fan. So I watch wrestling, I watch jiu-jitsu, I watch MMA, I watch everything, and I was already watching jiu-jitsu, and I said, oh, that look nice, and I try to I go to a club just at like 5 minutes from National Training Center to call Oma BJJ. That's
Right.
where I train now. So after judo, I was crazy at the time. I was doing judo, and right after the judo, I was going to jiu-jitsu. So I did like 2, 3 trainings a day, and
You mean on the
going
same
there.
day
Yeah,
after
yeah,
judo?
yeah.
Wow.
After judo, I
Okay.
was going there to train again.
You're nuts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
No, I say that respectfully. That's
No,
amazing that
no, no,
you
I know.
still,
Yeah.
that you still had the energy to go and learn. May I ask, which videos were you watching earlier on? Do you remember whose instructional videos you were watching on YouTube? Any
I
name
don't
come to mind?
exactly remember, but I remember I had an application on my iPad. I was paying for that, and that was like a jiu-jitsu technique. But I don't remember the name of the guy who was showing the technique. But that was a that was simple technique, but really effective technique. Like triangle, he was switching from on board to triangle. Like it was a submission, yeah,
Mm,
a lot of submission. Because in judo, it's a lot of holding, but not a lot of submission, like armbar, triangle, choke, but that's it.
right. I was just before our interview earlier today. I think I saw a clip of you from back in 2018. I think it was a Niwaza tournament. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you've also competed in Niwaza
yeah.
tournaments
I
for.
competed Kosen judo too. Kosen judo, and there was because they were doing like a Newaza competition in the
Right.
same time as the judo competition. I was doing both Newaza and the real competition, the real judo tournament.
When you were doing that sort of when you were developing your Niwaza game by
Yeah,
augmenting and training at Wama, sorry, Homa
yeah.
BJJ, what did others within the judo community think about your approach in terms of you know zoning in and focusing on jiu-jitsu to augment your Niwaza? Was that something? Was that common? Was that something that was? What did people
I
say? I guess.
I don't think it's that common, but a lot of guy was doing that before. Like, for example, Flavio Canto was doing jiu-jitsu when he was doing
Yeah,
judo. Travis Stevens too.
sure.
So, and those guys have a really really strong Newaza. So I was watching them. I thought maybe it's a good idea to do like those guys. Yeah, but no, I don't think nobody was saying nothing. It's good for me. I was becoming stronger in Newaza, so it's good. Yeah,
Now, I want to go back, if you don't mind, real quick to 2020. Yeah, January 2020. I think it was the national championships in Montreal. I
yeah,
think you competed in the under 90 kilo
yeah.
division,
90
and
kilo.
then yeah, you placed second. Louis Cribert Gagnon came
Yeah,
first. Benjamin Kendrick and Mohab El Nas
yeah.
went for the bronze. What this technically, I believe, this was your last judo tournament.
Yeah, that was
Correct?
right before the pandemic. That was my
Right,
last tournament in judo. Yeah, the Elite Eight. Yeah,
right. The Elite Eight, exactly.
yeah.
What going into this tournament, did you know this was your last tournament? And
No,
tell
no,
us and tell us, I guess what I'm framing here in the question is you're obviously you've had a judo career, you competed at the cadet, junior,
yeah,
and senior level, you
yeah,
competed internationally and so on. And this is your last tournament.
yeah.
Tell us what happened at this tournament and any moments that come to mind and why you decided to transition from judo into these other sports.
Yeah. I was already doing jiu-jitsu like at this tournament, maybe for like 1 year. I don't remember when I started exactly, but I was already doing jiu-jitsu, and I think I had already one tournament in jiu-jitsu, but I'm not sure, one or two tournaments in jiu-jitsu. But I didn't know that was my last judo tournament because after the pandemic start, and so everything stopped. So I continue to training, but like not training hard. We train like we did like what we can do, like weightlifting and like small training with 2 3 people. And I and jiu-jitsu was more easy to me to train like on those conditions because I can like go to a gym. So I go full time jiu-jitsu, and after I just say okay, I will try to compete in those sport. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So, but basically, the pandemic obviously flipped the script on you. It changed the
yeah, yeah.
trajectory of your career. Was it hard to? And I'm sorry if I'm asking too much about this, but
No, it's okay.
it's very interesting. Was it hard to let go of judo? And after all these years, I think at the time you were probably 21, 22, or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
After all these years, and I think you started when you were 5. So my math
Yeah,
is terrible, but that's
yeah.
what over
Like
15 years, something like
yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
maybe yeah, yeah. That's a lot of time. Yeah, but
Right.
no, that was not that hard because what I love it's martial art. I love to fight. I love to fight with people and like becoming better. I still doing judo when I do NoGi. I still do my ostogiri. I still do my kosoto, but it's the only thing is difference. I don't have the gi.
The jacket. Right.
So for me it's not a big change. It's just martial art. It's just with different rules, and I do a lot of judo in my jiu-jitsu. I do a lot of judo technique. So it's not like I like stop judo. I still do
Right.
judo, but it's like a different way to do judo. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's almost like an evolution of your game as a judoka
exactly,
right now,
exactly.
because you're doing these other sports, which leads into this question that you've kind of answered it. How did your judo background influence or benefit your no-gi grappling style? If you can give us sound examples as to the transferability of skill and knowledge from all
Yeah.
those 15 plus years of judo onto no-gi grappling.
That's helped me a lot for sure. That's helped me. The control, I have a good control with my like osaikomi, like in judo, a good triangle, good armbar, and transitioning from judo to jiu-jitsu was really not easy, but was really it was really okay for me. Like my first tournament in jiu-jitsu, I compete against a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I lost in overtime. So that was like already a good result. And it was like I
Sure.
was doing jiu-jitsu for like maybe 2 months. So after
Wow.
I said, okay, maybe I can go in jiu-jitsu and try to become the best. That's in me a lot. And for the standing position, of course, judo guys are a lot have a lot of more experience than jiu-jitsu guys. So that helped me too. The only thing I have difficulty, it's the about the leg locks. Leg locks at the beginning, that was hard. Like at the trials, one guy popped my knee, so that's why that was hard. And the leg lock and like sweep from the leg, because in judo we can't grab the legs. So I need to adapt my style to that. So yeah, that was the hardest thing, the leg
Right.
lock.
And you know, in terms of mindset going into these tournaments, because you've been doing judo for so long, how hard is it to mentally transition from, you know, as you mentioned, the attacking the legs, the sweeping?
Yeah.
How hard is it for you to not go into autopilot and do what you've done for years? How do you keep yourself in check and open to the new Niwaza reality that you're in?
Yeah. One thing I did that's really helped me, I did like a positional sparring. So I was doing like sparring with guy, but like I was saying like, okay, start with the start in my leg. So I need to focus only on that. And I did that like maybe during 1 or 2 months. And after I was becoming really comfortable in those positions. Not the best, but I was okay on those situations where I can like escape and after do my judo and do the stuff I really I'm good at, you know. So I was doing positional sparring, and that helped me to build my confidence to like escape those positions and to understand the concept of the leg lock game. Yeah. So I think it's the best way to do is like doing the positional sparring and that's it. Yeah, work on that.
In terms of competing in competition, like, so you competed in the ADCC here in Ottawa
Yeah,
just a couple of months ago, not a couple of months,
yeah,
back in April or so.
yeah,
And as well as in Poland for the UWW Grappling World Championships. I mean, that's a very, those are, I would imagine, a unique experience for
yeah,
you as a grappler, considering
yeah.
your background. I'm curious to know, how did the competition level and atmosphere compare to judo tournaments and matches? If you can give us kind of a comparative analysis
Yeah.
between, you know, those tournaments and your time competing internationally. I think you competed
Yeah,
in Portugal,
yeah,
in Turkey, and other
yeah.
parts. Like, well, how did it? How is it different?
Uh, I think judo now it's higher level than in jiu-jitsu because it's an older sport, and a lot of people compete in judo in the world. A lot of people. Jiu-jitsu, it's mostly Brazil, United States, and Europe a little bit, but not like in judo. In judo, they have a lot more a competitor, and the level it's a little bit higher in judo. So I think, but jiu-jitsu now it's becoming stronger. But for now, judo the judo tournament are harder than the jiu-jitsu for now tournament for sure. Yeah,
Okay, we're going to go back to that question in a bit
yeah,
because I think it's something that we probably need to kind of elaborate on, especially particularly for our audience here in Canada. And I say
yeah,
this respectfully because I don't from what little I know, living here in Canada and speaking to people, it seems, and I'm a fan first and foremost. I'm not a judo expert by any means. I'm
Yeah,
not a martial arts expert. I'm just a fan. But it
yeah,
seems like there's uh, maybe a lack of knowledge or a lack of judo literacy in Canada in terms of and I don't mean the competitors. I'm not talking about the national team. I'm talking about combat sport
yeah,
fans here. When you think of grappling, I don't know how educated is probably not the appropriate word. How educated or informed they are as to how global and highly competitive judo is compared to all these other incredibly
yeah.
important and relevant grappling sports such as jiu-jitsu. But we'll get back to that point.
Okay.
I'm curious to know in terms of okay, so judo and jiu-jitsu have different emphasis on ground and standing
Yeah.
technique. How did you balance these two aspects in your training? You answered it with in terms of that positional training and so
Yeah.
on. It's part of your evolution as a grappler. Speak to us in terms of like what have coaches done to kind of really enable you to kind of take your best assets from judo and enhance them for jiu-jitsu. I've seen you compete here in Ottawa at the
Yeah.
ADCC trials. You look remarkably strong and just you had this I think I only watched one match, but I remember I
Yeah.
think it was for the gold medal. You
Yeah.
did not seem you were under a lot of like you did not seem stressed at all. You seemed like you
Yeah.
were at a coffee shop in Montreal sipping your
Yeah.
coffee and just chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not even
Yeah.
drinking beer. Just you seem very calm.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
remember watching that and as a spectator, and I'm like, man, this guy, like, don't get me wrong, the competitor you're against was fierce. He was very, very
No, it
tough.
was good. It was really good.
And yeah, and he was relentless. He did not
Yeah.
give up. But you were
Yeah.
calm as can I
Yeah.
swear on my own podcast? You were calm as fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
you were calm, you were chill, and you showed no sign of distress or duress. And I
Yeah.
guess I'm going all over with this question, but I'm going all over the place. But
Yeah.
how do you keep calm in competition? I know you competed a zillion times all
Yeah.
over, but how do you remain calm and focused?
I think I was really really nervous when I was younger, like nervous at the point I was like puking in the
Oh
in
wow,
the in the toilet like before the
right.
fight. I think it's just a competition experience. I compete a lot. Like I start competing maybe when I was 6, 7, and all those years I compete. I gain experience and I gain confidence too. So in what I uh, I learned is if I'm too stressed, I'm too nervous, I made mistake once, and two, I expend a lot of energy, and after 1 2 minutes maybe I'm dead if I'm going crazy. So I need to calm down and I say okay, it's just a jiu-jitsu match. I will do my best and that's it. If I do my best, I'm happy. Win or lose, like if I just do my best, and I try to win. So I try to stay calm, stay focused on my game plan, and just try to beat the guys in front of me. So I think it's just the experience of competition, like just compete, train, and that's it. Yeah,
Going
yeah,
back to I appreciate that answer, of course. In terms of your coach, tell us about your jujitsu coach and
yeah.
how he's enhanced your approach to grappling now as a jujitsu.
Yeah, my coach it's Johnny Zumuli. It's the owner of Omo BJJ, and he helped me a lot to learn the rules of jiu-jitsu, of course, because I was I first judo, so I don't know didn't know the rules of jiu-jitsu. He helped me a lot with the leg lock defense, everything, and helped me a lot too with the strategy of a fight, like how to win, how to stay calm, like and how to because he have a lot of experience. He was a referee, so he know almost all the style of the guys, and he helped me a lot of strategy, and of course at the training he give me good sparring partner, and he teach me in a way that I can increase all the every training. I'm better and better and better, he helped me a lot with that, like the strategy and the how to win fight. Yeah.
Right on. Who are your main training partners at the dojo?
I have a lot of training partner. One guy I train a lot with, I do boxing with him. Jiu-jitsu is I have two guys I train a lot. And it's Christophe Rollo and Gabriel Tabet. I think it's the guy I train most. And sometimes I have Franco Pana too, big guy, and Javad Majoub. He's from Judo too. In the I think that's four guy I train the most with them. Like they are a strong guy and they help me to become better. I hope I help them too. So
For sure.
yeah,
When you and Javad go and fight in
yeah,
grappling, particularly the stand up, do you
yeah.
do you do you throw him for Ippon? Well, what happens in that exchange?
Oh no, he killed me. He's
Oh,
too big. Yeah, he's too big for me. Yeah.
okay. Well, what
Yeah.
is he? What does he do? How does he? What throw does he utilize? Or
He's a strong guy, so and he have a good judo. He is good with Kosodogake, Uranage, with he have good Ochigari too. And I think he was a wrestler too when he was younger. So he combined like wrestling and judo really really well. So that's good, and that helped me too. You show me something. You show me how to shoot, how to transition from wrestling and judo. So I think that the best like combo for grappling is wrestling, judo, and jiu-jitsu. Like it's the three. If you have the three style, you invincible, I think. Yeah,
Absolutely, you're
yeah,
untouchable. What do you think of Javad as a mixed martial artist? I saw him fight on
yeah,
Samurai MMA. What are your thoughts
yeah.
on him as a fighter?
He's really scary. He's a big man. He hit hard. He is really good. You have the winner mentality. He compete a lot. So he's three times Olympian. So he know how to win fight, and he know how to like how to beat. I think he will be really far. He will go really far in the MMA if he continue to train and to increase. He will become really really dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm in total agreement with you. In fact, I think for a heavyweight, I cannot think of no, not that I know every professional heavyweight in mixed martial arts in this country, but I
yeah.
I don't think anyone I don't think anyone could beat him. Quite
I
frankly,
don't think
you
so.
know,
Yeah, I
it's
don't think
it's
so. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
I
he will
mean,
beat everybody in Canada. Yeah,
yeah, I in full agreement. In fact, I would almost say send him to the UFC or PFL
yeah,
or wherever else. I think that's where he belongs. Quite frankly, I'm
yeah,
curious to know in terms of so considering. Let's go back to that first question. When we're talking about that comparative analysis between jiu-jitsu and judo, and
yeah,
I just want to preface the question by saying jiu-jitsu is an incredible sport and it's a growing sport in all over the world, and it's extremely popular within the mixed martial arts community, and by no I am a fan of that sport. I'm a fan of
yeah,
as I'm sure you are as well.
yeah.
Considering the intense challenges and the immense depth of global talent in senior level judo, how
Yeah.
does the rigor of international judo competition compare to other styles like no-gi or jiu-jitsu? Can we even compare, in your opinion? Is it even
Uh,
fair to compare?
I don't think so because judo it's an Olympic sport, and they have a lot of people who are doing judo. And of course, if you put like a judoka and a jiu-jitsu guy in a grappling match, the jiu-jitsu guy, well, like 9 times out of 10 he will win. But
Absolutely.
if you put a jiu-jitsu guy in a judo match, the judo guy will kill him. And I think it's just because it's an Olympic sport, and it's like everybody in the world, like every country in the world have a judo team. So I think it's just because they have a lot of member, and it's like really, really competitive. In Europe, it's really competitive. In Asia too, it's really competitive. Everybody is good in judo. So I think it's just because in the jiu-jitsu, it's in the US and in Brazil. It's the biggest country for jiu-jitsu. But I think maybe in like 10, 15, 20 years, maybe jiu-jitsu will become like more popular and stronger. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting because I mean, even in North America, I think there was the Pan American Championship. I think recently, not the Pan
Yeah.
Am Games. So yeah, the Pan American Championship. I think in Calgary
Yeah, in Calgary.
recently. Yeah, and I mean Brazil was out there, and I think one of the funny ironies, if I can say that real quick, is Brazil is a judo powerhouse, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah, of course.
they produce a ton of talent in addition
Yeah.
to having great MMA, of course, obviously, and of course Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I guess the reason why I asked that is I think people outside of North America, I mean, if you look at the global, okay, maybe I have a bias, but I think it's pretty factual. But the global grappling combats, were the most dominant one with global representation is judo, as you were saying,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I think so.
jujitsu. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's the global time. Even this country, I think when we look at I happen to follow all the core, whatever, amateur Olympic sports,
Yeah.
boxing, taekwondo, judo,
Yeah.
and wrestling in Canada. And I mean, the Canadian national judo
Yeah.
team, in my opinion, I think outperforms all these other
Yeah, of course.
national,
Yeah.
and it's not a knock on these other sports, but Canada
Yeah.
is a judo nation.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm ranting here a lot. I'm sleep deprived,
No, no, it's
but
okay.
I want to move on now to the topic of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Obviously, what motivated you to transition from these grappling sports into the multi-faced world of mixed
Yeah.
martial arts? You're 3-0 as an amateur. You're going to be
Yeah.
making your pro debut. Tell us the story about your journey into amateur MMA.
Yeah, what I like is the realistic part of a fight, and I think it's MMA is the most realistic combat sport because you have everything, you know. You can do whatever you want, so it's like a real fight. And when I was younger, I was watching like the old UFC, Pride, everything. Yeah, I was fascinated by who is the stronger, which sport is the best, like who will win. So that's always fascinating me, and I was watching a lot of MMA. So and even when I was younger, I was doing like small sparring with my friend, and that's why I start MMA. So I did my first fight in 2019. So it was before I stopped judo. But I was only a judoka. I just grab him and throw him and punch him. I was
Oh
no
wow.
striking. Zero, zero,
Wow.
zero
No,
striking.
so it's like old school UFC. It's like it's like an old school
Yeah.
UFC fight where you
Yeah.
have. Do you remember Joe Charles from back in the day? He was
No.
no, he was an American judoka, I believe, from Texas,
Okay.
and I think he's UFC 3 or 4, and he would go into these fights, and I think he would try Tayatoshi or so.
Yeah.
Anyways, so tell us about your first match, who you fought, how you threw them, and how you beat them.
I fight a guy from Ontario, I think, and he was a lot of bigger than me. The fight was at 205, and I was 81 kilo.
Okay.
So it was big, and I was so nervous. I just entered the cage. He tried to punch me. I just blocked like when I just blocked like terrible technique, and I just grabbed him. Kosodo Geke. I was in mount. I punched him 2 3 times. He gave me his back, and I finished him on the with punch. The fight like last like maybe 1 minute. It was 1 minute's fight. I just grabbed him and I did what I know. So I did judo with him. So, but no boxing, no kickboxing, no striking technique. That was terrible on the feet. That was terrible, but on the ground it was good.
How did it feel to get the W, to get the win? You know, your first ever mixed martial arts fight, of course,
Yeah,
as an amateur. How did it feel?
yeah, that feel really good. That feel really good. But after what one thing I remember is just the pressure, like because it was my first real fight, like
Mm.
my first real time, like somebody tried to punch me in
Take
the
your head
face.
off.
So, yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I
Interesting.
remember just the stress, the pressure, like it go down, and I was feeling so good after. Yeah.
You mean you never fought back in Sept-Îles, or you've never gone to street fights or on not the
Mm,
playground? You're not, never gone to.
but no,
Nothing
not real,
serious.
like not real fight. No, no. I was maybe I did a little bit of sparring with boxing glove, but nothing like real, like just for fun.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, what did friends, family, and people from the judo community say about your leap into MMA? What were your friends saying?
no, I they think it's I don't know. I really don't never ask them, but I think they are hope I doing I'm doing good, and they like to see me try to do judo with in the grappling and MMA. I think yeah, and my friend encouraged me to do good. They hope me they hope the best for me. Yeah,
Absolutely. In terms of your experience now, so you've had three amateur MMA fights. You've
yeah,
also fought in boxing. Tell us
yeah,
about your experience in terms of, obviously MMA involves much more than just grappling.
yeah,
There's striking involved and XYZ other factors. How
yeah.
has the boxing, your dabbling in boxing and kickboxing enhanced your overall approach as a fighter?
Yeah, I did boxing and kickboxing just for striking experience to start the fight on my feet and just fight on my feet. Like I can't grab the guy. I can't do the thing I'm good. So I'm 100% striking. So I did that for like striking experience 100%. And my boxing coach and my kickboxing coach helped me a lot. I did a lot of sparring, so they prepare me well. And in boxing, like it was good. I did 7 fight and nothing like hurt me, so I was good. I was even the 2 fight I lost. That was close fight. Like I didn't get killed. So they teach me good thing. I know, and I know I have the a good coach. And yes, that's it. I did that for like only for striking experience because I'm a grappler, so I need to learn like learn striking and learn how to fight with my on my feet. Yeah, that's why I did that. Yeah,
Who are your favorite fighters? Who do you enjoy watching, and who do you I don't want to say like want to become, but who's
yeah,
a big influence in your MMA development? Who do you look up to, I guess?
yeah. Me, I'm a grappler, so of course I like to watch grappler. My favorite fighter was Khabib Nurmagomedov. He is a judo black belt too. He's a good wrestler. He's from Sambo. I watch Khamzat Chimaev too. Islam Makhachev, he do good Aragoshi, good Ashiwaza, good underground too. So I like to watch. I like Charles Rivera too. He's a really good jiu-jitsu athlete. So I like to watch those guys. They are really good on the ground, and they are like wrestler and a grappler. So I like to watch grappler. I love when I fight is in the ground. I like to watch. Some people didn't like that, but me, I like to. I like watching that. Yeah.
How much content do you watch in general, like of fighting nowadays? Are you still watching international? Do you still watch judo, or are you primarily just focused on MMA?
I watch I watch judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA. I watch everything, really everything. And I like watching MMA too. I watch boxing too sometimes. I like combat sport. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
By the way, I appreciate the time here. I don't want to take up more of your time. There's probably a few more questions, so another 15 minutes if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Awesome. What are your goals and aspiration as you transition to professional mixed martial arts?
Me is go off as far as I can. I will go. I will go. I will try at 100% for sure. And let's see what's happened. Let's see where I can go with that. I think I can do well. I think I can do really well because I have a lot of experience in grappling. I will give my 100% and let's see where I can go. I'm not for now. I don't have like objective. I don't like say okay. I want to go to the UFC. I don't care. I just go as far as my body and my body can go. Like I don't have I don't put pressure on my shoulder. I just go as far as I can.
Do you have any, in terms of overall health, any injuries or any nagging sort of injuries that you have, or?
I have no nothing. My finger because of judo, my finger are like big. My ear, my knee, my shoulder. I have little thing everywhere, but nothing crazy. No surgery. So
All right.
so only small thing like only normal like combat sport thing.
Which organization will you be making your debut in? And tell us a little bit about that, your decision, or I think it's happening soon. If you can give us a bit of background info.
Yeah, I don't have a date yet, but it's for sure this year, and it's probably will be with Samurai MMA. It's a Quebec organization. Yeah,
Right. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with it. Of course, I think
yeah,
most Canadian fight fans are.
yeah, exactly.
Um, what are your thoughts about the Samurai MMA brand? And do you have a particular opponent in mind that you want to debut against?
I have no opponent yet. I will take what they want to give me. Uh, and I think it's a good organization. It's I went to like three show I think, and the show was nice. Everything was beautiful. Everything went well, and it's good to have an organization in Quebec. So I don't need to go like in the States or another country to compete. So I think it's good for the my debut to go to a Quebec organization. Yeah.
How important is that to fight on in the province for you?
Uh, I think for the debut it's good because I don't need to like travel and I will be like in my town, so I will be like more it's more easy to me to like to be in my at my house cutting the weight at my place, and I have everybody I know here.
Right.
My gym is just like at 5 minutes from my house, so everything is I know everything here, so it's good for me to do my debut here, I think.
Right. So familiarity and comfort
Yeah,
is important. Absolutely. I'm just going
exactly.
to play a devil's advocate here, if you don't mind. So MMA is very huge now in France. Obviously, it's legal. And
Yeah,
if a promoter from France called and said, this is after you make your debut. If they
yeah.
said, "Hey, big opportunity for you to make, impact in Europe," would you consider that? I guess what I'm asking is, would you entertain the idea of competing outside North America to progress potentially your career?
Yeah, yeah, of course. If it's a good opportunity and that's helped me, yeah, of course, I will consider it. I will talk to my coach and see what they can offer to me. But of course, I will be interested. Yeah, yeah,
Do you follow a lot of the sort of the business side of mixed martial arts? For example, there's this new TKO group, the merger of UFC and WWE. Are you, as a combat sports fan, do you
yeah.
follow the business side as well, or just the sports side?
Not that much. I focus on the sport. I watch fight, but I don't follow the all those things. I only focus on the on fight
Okay.
and be
Okay.
better and training. Yeah.
Okay. Are you managed, or are you self-managed? Or
Yeah, it's my coach Johnny who helped me,
okay.
and yeah, yeah,
Okay.
this him he helped me, and he helped me a lot. He's really good with me. Yeah,
Right on. I ask about the business side of things because, as you know, like this milieu of sport now is huge in terms of that sports entertainment aspect. People will watch fights to be entertained, of course, and and fighters now are almost they've always been, I guess, a brand unto themselves, but now it's a lot of personality driven,
Yeah.
Storylines. I don't want to say it's like pro wrestling or anything like that, but in your opinion, how important is it for a fighter to do media, to do self promotion? I suppose
Yeah.
also on social media, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Do you think about that sort of the communications
Yeah.
planning and strategizing and all that? Does that come natural?
I need to start with that because I'm not really good with with social media. I'm not really good with that. So, but I know it's important because that can give you a good opportunity and a good sponsor and good. Of course, you need to do that. So of course I will try to do that more. Do a thing on social media and to have good opportunity. And of course it's a show, huh? So you need to do the show a little bit
Absolutely.
to have fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating because nowadays I think even for promoters, bookers, and now TKO Group, to use as an example, basically this umbrella organization, they're talent agents. They're
Yeah.
looking to maximize these athletes
Exactly.
as a brand. So it's funny. It's like I think there's as much value fighters bring in the ring or the cage. They almost have to have. They don't have to have, but it's not like amateur sports where the focus is purely competition. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if
Yeah.
it's judo, wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, etc., where your focus is mainly competing. Now it's an additional pressure of
Yeah.
doing media, this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
curious to know, in the constantly evolving world of MMA, how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve and continuously adapt your game?
To adapt my game to the new style and the new training method.
Yeah, yeah. How do
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah. I think one of the best way to learn is watch fight. You watch fight and you watch what the best people do, what they work on, what they specialize on. So I watch I watch fight and I try to work on what's work on the highest level. So you don't care if a technique work on the like for example a white belt, but if that's work at like the ADCC tournament, like at the highest level of competition, I think it's a good technique. So I will try to work on that. For same thing for the UFC. Like if I saw a good technique, a good way to win a fight, of course I will put that in my training and try to work on that. Yeah. Yeah.
What's it like training in Montreal? Because obviously Canada has a lot of hot spots for combat sports and MMA.
Yeah.
And traditionally, I think Montreal was kind of like the HQ, the center of professional mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Give us kind of your assessment on the Montreal MMA scene currently.
They have a lot of a lot of good gym in Montreal. Me, I go to a couple of gym. I do my jiu-jitsu. I do like 90% of my training at Oma BJJ. I go to Thailand for my striking. I go to another gym. It's a boxing gym. It's like a small gym with my boxing coach. And sometimes I go to H2O too to work on the ground with the guy over there. So that's like the gym I go. And Montreal now it's becoming really good for NoGi grappling. I think Montreal it's one of the strongest city. I think we have the strongest grappler. I think it's in Montreal. So it's one of the best place to train in Canada for sure. Montreal. Yeah.
Absolutely. How do you keep yourself motivated and in the game? How do you keep your mind in the game? I ask that because I believe you're 26 years old. You've been
Yeah.
doing this for 2 decades. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like competing and involved in
Yeah.
combat sports. And I think are you also a student? Am I correct?
Sorry.
Are you it's Dion? I think you're a student.
Ouais. Yes, I'm studying at the UQAM. I do a baccalaureate on administration des affaires. The name.
Okay, wow, but business,
Yeah, exactly.
commerce, right on, right
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
What year are you in? You're in the last year?
Yeah, it's my last year. Yeah.
Okay. How do you manage? So because you mentioned four gyms, you're a
Yeah.
university student last year. How the hell do you manage your time from
Oh,
all
it's
with all of this stuff, man? How do you do it?
yeah, yeah, it's hard, but I have the at the university. One thing I like is I can place my course in my free time. So I train in the morning and in the night, and then in the middle I go to school. And same thing for and in the weekend I study and I teach at the jiu-jitsu gym too. I give a private class too, so I have like a stack schedule. But if everything is like it's like a schedule and I follow my plan, everything is good. Yeah, yeah. I have time to do everything.
Right on. And may I ask, do you have time to socialize as well, or you're all like in the gym or in the books?
Yeah, of course, I can't go out every night, but
Right.
I try to see friend on the weekend. Sometime, not every weekend, but sometime I go out with friend. I manage my time really well, and I train with and I'm training because I loving that too. So it's not hard for me to go training. Of course sometimes I'm tired, but when I'm tired, I relax. I go train like lighter, and during the weekend, I rest. Yeah,
For sure. I'm curious to know, this is a big question, but I don't know if I could ask it, but I'll ask it. How would you like to be remembered? Okay, I'm not going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how would you like to be remembered
yeah,
in
that's
MMA
good.
community? You're going to be making your MMA debut
Yeah,
shortly, but in the back
yeah,
of your mind, like, you're young, you're 26, you've got a
yeah,
whole career ahead of you. You
yeah,
have a whole career behind you as far as your
yeah,
judo career. This is
yeah,
not your first rodeo.
yeah,
How would you
exactly.
like to be remembered in
I
for
would like
MMA?
to be remembered as a disciplined guy, like a guy who do thing well. Uh, a good grappler because I like grappling. I want to become a really good grappler, and a guy who don't who give everything he has. So he give 100%. Like not a guy who go like 50%. I want to remember like a guy who really give his 100%. Yeah, yeah.
In terms of grappling and specifically, pardon me, judo, from back in your day competing, who was your number one rival?
When I was doing judo.
Yeah, and then nationally, who was your main competitor in Canada?
I had a lot of competitor because the National Training Center it's really competitive because you train with the people you fight in competition. So
Right.
so it's like always a little bit of competition in the gym, but then everybody was nice. So I don't have one particularly rival, but of course everybody is a little bit rival. If you are in the same category as someone, of course one day you will have to fight him. So but I don't have one particular guy in mind. But yeah,
Who would you say, if you don't mind, follow up? Who's the most underrated judoka in your opinion currently on the national team? Who do you think is incredible, in training, but I don't want to say can't transfer that in
yeah,
competition, but who do you think is really underrated? And I say
really
underrated
underrated.
within, I guess, media, not the media circles,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
but I understand what I understand. One guy's like I think he can do a good really good result in the future.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think right now, at 81 kilo, François Gosset-Drapeau is doing really good. I think he can do. he can do a really good result in the future. I think so, yeah. Because
Yeah, he's
all
awesome.
the
He's
other
awesome.
guys in the team already compete at the Olympic.
Right.
So I think him it's he can do really good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of heart, and
Yeah.
he's always given 110%. Is there, in terms of follow up, in terms of Niwaza, who do you think is the most dominant when it comes to Niwaza currently on the national team?
I think I will go with girls for this one. I think I will go with Jessica and Catherine for
Oh
Newaza.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
Have they
think.
ever fought in Niwaza amongst themselves? Who would win between Catherine and
I don't know. I don't know, but I would like to see that happen.
I'm going to put my money on Catherine. I think she could.
Yeah.
Her Nuwaza is incredible, man.
Yeah.
Incredible. Last question for you. What advice do you have to give for fellow mixed martial artists out there who are trying to make a big name? Because right now the quantity and quality of Canadian MMA, not just Canadian, but mixed martial arts at a global level, it's incredible. Like
Yeah.
it's just female and male competitors are
Yeah.
just so versatile and complete. It's staggering. What
Yeah.
advice do you have to give to any ambitious young male or female athletes who want to step up and dive into
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, me, I think the most important thing is like the discipline and just show up to training and train every day. It's not like because sometimes people have fight and they train just because they have fight, but I think you need to train all the year and like every day you try to becoming better. Like every day you wake up and you try to train hard and become better than yesterday and that's it. I think after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years you will becoming a super strong. Yeah, I think it's the discipline and the the training. Yeah, yeah,
This is the first time, actually, second time we've spoken. I met you in Ottawa for
yeah,
that tournament in April. We briefly spoken. I'm glad we got to do this. I hope we can do this again. I'm
yes, of
curious to
course.
know one last question for you, sir.
Yeah,
In terms of what has been the hardest moment for you as a competitor, be it MMA, boxing, judo? If you can tell us a story or an incident that really pushed you to your limit and how you overcame it, or if you didn't overcome it, well, what you took away from it, the lesson learned, if you could kind of tell us an incident.
yeah. One thing that was really hard, I remember, it's the first time I won the national in judo. I was I hurt my knee in the tournament, like I think 2 months before the national. So I didn't do randori at all. Only uchikomi technique, and that's it. So when I compete to the national, I like 2 months without randori. So I remember that was really hard. My cardio was not there because when you don't do randori only technique, it's not the same thing. Like when you do randori, like your cardio would become like high and like it's good. I remember that tournament was really hard. I was tired. Was everything was hard in this tournament, and I at the end of the day I was able to win the tournament. So that was I was really proud of that. And after my knee healed really good, and I start training like maybe the next 2 days after the competition. Yeah, yeah.
So it gave you a lot of confidence that you
Yeah,
went
exactly.
into the
Exactly.
tournament.
I was okay. I can win even if I'm not at 100%. Yeah,
Fascinating, my friend. I
yeah,
I I have one last comment to make. I think I was looking at your Instagram, and
yeah,
you only have 9 posts.
yeah,
And all good. I ain't criticizing,
yeah,
obviously, but like, I hope you step the social
yeah,
media game up, because I think if anyone's watching, make sure you follow
yeah,
that they follow you on social media. I'll be tagging
yeah.
you in these clips,
Perfect.
and it's not like I have an audience myself or anything
Yeah,
like that. but I think
Yeah.
I think on the communication side, you probably need to
Yeah.
step it up a little bit. Tell us
Okay, thank you.
again. Thank you. Tell us again where you'll be fighting. You don't know exactly when, but it would be for Samurai.
Yeah, it's for Samurai, but I don't have the date yet. But it will be with the Samurai. Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah,
man. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to seeing your debut fight, and I want to
yeah.
wish you all the best with
Thank
that.
you very
And
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. Thank you very much for your time, and
yeah.
have a good night, man.
Have a good night too. Yes.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.